Hello, guys. Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello. Welcome back, guys, to another week of mobile web programming. All right. So, hello, everybody. Hello, Bakash. Good evening, Gret, Casey, Keegan, Rajveer, Matthew. How's it going? How you guys doing? One second. Just get my screen ready. Okay. All right, guys. So, welcome to another session. Let me just share my screen now. You guys see my screen? Showing it. So it's loading. So, okay, there. Sorry, it took a while to get it to work because I didn't see the screen back here. Yeah, I'm here. You guys see it? There we go. All right, okay. So guys, today for today's class, we will be going over this lecture, week 10. Actually, it's week 11. You guys are Mohawks, you're a week ahead. So Node.js, guys, what is Node.js? So Node.js, guys, is a completely different thing than what we've done so far. Make it available for both sections. Now, Node.js, guys, pretty much uh, is allowing us to use a server, okay, as a backend. You guys already kind of did that a little bit with your assignment 4. So you should already know a little bit of Node.js. Now, this is going to be something that you can add to your portfolio, as many companies are looking for a backend developer. So knowing Node.js, knowing Express, um, know how to use MongoDB, Firebase. These are all things that you guys should also try to learn, right? When we talked about, your portfolios last class, something that you should add to your portfolio. All right. Hello, Rajveer and Sandy, Raphael. All right. So Node.js introduction. So it says here, Node.js. So Node.js is a platform built on Chrome's JavaScript runtime for easily building fast and scalable network applications. Node.js uses an event-driven, non-blocking I/O model that makes it lightweight and efficient, perfect for data-intensive real-time applications that run across distributed devices. So guys, what it does here, it allows us to use server-side coding to do server-side things. Now, does anyone here know what server-side coding is? Server-side coding is allowing us to use the server, you guys did it in assignment 4, to handle requests. So handle things from the client. The client will send requests to the server, and the server will then respond. Now, this is what Node.js is really about. Node.js is typically part of different technology stack, what we've been using with PHP. Now, we didn't use PHP before. I'm not sure why he put this in the slide. But anyways, a stack, guys, pretty much just will be what the technologies are that we're using together to do something. So like we're using different technologies like MySQL for database stuff, Linux for OS, right? Apache or more like backend server side stuff, and PHP as well. So technology stacks or the set of software components need to create a complete program, complete platform. Describe it as a stack because one technology typically sits on top and it depends on another. Right? Sorry, Apache is for hosting. I bet PHP is more for server side stuff. So Lamb stack, we have a web cache, right? Like Squid or Polypod traffic server, a web server like Apache, Cherokee, Nginx, CGI scripting. So they're just different names of different parts of the stack, like different tools that we can use for different parts of the stack. So database, you can use MySQL for database stuff. You can use even Firebase as well for database stuff. Um, you can use like Apache, like web server, to host the website onto. You can use Python and PHP to do server-side coding, and this stuff you can use as well as a tool. Now these all come together and make a stack. And now this is just showing you levels of like this is hardware stuff. So we're using CPU and RAM, networking devices to send requests to the internet, and the internet will then return responses back. Right? So I think it should be the other way around. The computer requests, the internet response. Okay, storage as well is a part of the hardware. So saving things, memory. So Lamb stack, Apache, PHP, and MySQL run on Linux. How does backend of a Lamb stack respond to an HTTP request? So Apache interprets the request and calls PHP if necessary. If PHP is called, files processed by PHP and returned. So pretty much we're using PHP, guys, to handle requests. Right? This is a language that we can use for server-side coding. You can also use what else? JavaScript for server-side coding. That's how we get into Node.js. So Node.js, guys, is a JavaScript library framework. Right? So it's using JavaScript to make uh, server-side coding available to us. So it's a mean stack, meaning that we're using like MongoDB as part of the mean stack. I mean, using so MongoDB is used to save data. ExpressJS is to make the server framework, and Node.js is built like ExpressJS is built on Node.js. So actually, has Express in it. AngularJS or React.js is what we're using to build the application. So all these together can give us a stack. Front-end technology doesn't really matter. Node.js can work with anything. So you can use whatever front-end you want to use. You want to use React, you want to use Angular, you want to use Vue, whatever you want to use, you can use, right? These don't really matter, right? You just work with whatever that we have here. Now, Node.js lets you create web servers, and the Express.js framework part of the technology stack will let us set up web servers and web applications more easily. We run our Node.js code using Unix. We're going to be just running it on our terminal. So guys, this is the code that we're going to be using today to make our server in Node.js. This is going to be hello world. Actually really fun. If you guys get into Node.js, Node programming, you're going to really like it. It's really fun. All right, so let's go to the desktop and make a new folder here. I'm going to call this week 11. Took so long to load. That is ridiculous. This is also taking a while to everything just lagging. I think my simulator here is teaching this class too. And that closes. And this as well. Um, what happened? I'll show off. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I don't know why this is like frozen. What's good? Not bad, guys. It's not even here. Jeez. Oh, here it is. Sorry, guys. It's right here. It's good. Maybe Teams if you go. Yeah, maybe that as well. It's causing the lag. I'm just really busy lately. Stuff open. Okay, good. Thank you for the suggestion. All right, so here, guys, we're going to be making an example server that will be a hello world. So we're going to make here, guys, first a file called hello world.js. And then we're going to go to the terminal. We're going to say npm init. So this will, guys, it will create our node project for us. So you guys already have Node installed. I know we went over this already. Node with React. You already need Node, right? So we're going to do npm init, and this will create a Node project for you. Not a React project, guys. It's not React. It's a Node project. So here it's going to give you guys some things to fill out. So the package name, be the folder name. Just press enter. The version is 1.0. Press enter. The description you can put here. This is a Node application. And this is where we're going to be running our server from, hello world.js. Just press enter. Test command is going to be node hello world.js. And then here you can put the name of your Git repository. We need to do that. Here I can put node.js npm hello world, enter, and then put your name, enter, enter, enter. This will create, guys, a package.json, which can be used to pretty much describe the project, right? Describe the project to somebody else, how to run the project, the author's name, the Git repository, right? So this is pretty much going to describe the project for us and also tell people how they'll be able to run our project. So node hello world.js. And we also want to code our server. So we're going to go into hello world.js and we're going to say this: HTTP equals require HTTP. So we need to include the HTTP package and the host name. So host name is going to be 127.0.0.1. Set the host name and port values while running our server. The port will be 3000. Now this will give us as an address to host our server onto Apache. Think of like Apache, right? Now I'm going to create the server. So create the server. We provide a function that determines how to respond to requests by setting a response status code header content. Server http.create server. This will, guys, so HTTP is a library in Node. Okay, we're gonna have to do this. npm install HTTP to install the library that will allow us to create a server. All right. So once you guys do that, you go to Node modules, you see HTTP there. This will allow us to use the HTTP module in our project. Function. Now what this will do is it will send a message, okay, hello world, and set the status code of our response to 200 and set the header to accept text. And we also want to tell the server to start listening at our port and host name. Server running at HTTP host name port. Save it. And this is it. Here you guys go. I'll put this in the Discord. Wrong channel. All right, now you're gonna do. So you guys now you can look back at the package.json, and this will tell us how to run our script. So you can say node hello world.js. Now it says server running as the host and port number that we put. You guys can just press command click, and it will then send us hello world. I want you guys to try that out. This is very important that you guys know how to do this. I think everyone knows how to do it because assignment 4, you have to do this, right? But try to make it send something else. Make it send your name, like hello Mark. Run it again. Let's just try to refresh it. You gotta actually close it. So Control C to close it. Control C. And then do it again. Node hello world.js. Now go back there, refresh, and it says hello Mark. Just take a screenshot of that, guys, and put it on Discord. Okay, what was your error? All right, so guys, here it says, sorry, what was your error? Okay. Okay, so here it says, guys, hello world. It said hello world. Right? And then we made it send the message. Now you guys can go to the Node.js API here. This is all about Node.js. You should bookmark this page. Let's go. Definitely bookmark that page. Okay. Also, we can look at the npm HTTP. So HTTP, you could use this, right? This package to create a server. You should also bookmark this as well. It's coming from npm. Okay. So Node.js, why an event loop? So why do we use Node.js, guys? This is now the why. So what happens when multiple users access the same PHP resource on a web server? A new OS thread or process will run to serve the request. Again, there's optimization and different configurations, but essentially that's what's happening. Problem: threads and processes are heavyweights. Each time CPU switches from one program process to another, it needs to do what is called a context switch. Context switch involves the CPU swapping information in its registers each time. They're expensive. So Node.js is event-driven programming. So flow for the program is determined by events. typically used for GUIs, clicks, key presses, etc. Remember events like on click and mouse over, your front end JavaScript, how do those really work? How do they know to fire off when a user clicked on something or did some other action? And isn't the flow of programming much different than our programs with a main method plus called functions determining execution path? Now, event loops. So event-driven programs are typically implemented by an event loop. Event loops make a request for waiting events from an event provider and then call an associated event to handle the event, repeating the cycle. So for example, guys, if I click on something, right, something will handle the event for us. Right? So event loops make a request for waiting events from an event provider and then call an associated event handler to handle the event, repeating the cycle. Node.js uses an event-driven model, waiting for events to occur, and then executing associated handlers. So for example, if I go to a web to a page on my server, it will handle it for me. Like it will know what page I'm going to. That's actually an event. Um, so Node.js actually has non-blocking I/O, which is actually a feature that is actually pretty important. So in most languages, when we make an I/O call, like input-output call of some kind, file access, database access, network communication, execution will block until the operation is complete. In PHP, we have multiple threads executing simultaneously in the case of multiple users. So we typically don't notice this as a problem. Even if one thread is waiting for I/O, other threads can still be executing. Why is blocking I/O potentially a problem? Cost of I/O. So it is quite expensive to do things like this, like file access, database access, network communication. For most languages, we wait until this is complete for us to continue the thread. Okay. So blocking for I/O is expensive. Other than applications with very heavy computations, it is the performance bottleneck. It's very expensive. So non-blocking I/O. So Node.js uses asynchronous non-blocking I/O. Node that has one thread that executes your JavaScript code. If there are any I/O operations to complete, they are delegated to other lightweight threads. So guys, we have actually asynchronous threading in Node.js. So it can do several things at once in parallel. I do not have to stop and wait for one of these things to happen to continue my application. I can just simply do them all at the same time. So Node maintains a pool of these threads in which I/O operations are taking place in parallel and asynchronously. So when I/O thread completes the I/O, it executes a callback function to handle the event. Node keeps a queue of these events to respond to and responds to them one after another. So you don't have to wait for something to be finished to do something in our program. So this is an example, guys, of using I/O, input output, in Node using something called FS. Now, FS, guys, is a part of NPM. FS allows us to read files in NPM, file reading. So you can look at a file's path and read it. So we're going to make another file in here, our week 11. It's going to be called async IO example.js. Okay. So we need to include FS. Wire. Let's see what FS. So read from file input.txt. So we need to actually make a file here, guys, called input input.txt. And here I'm going to put something in here to be read by the server. Input.txt file contents. And then here, I'm going to read it in my server. Function error data. So we're going to read the file. If there's an error, I'm going to say console.log error.stack. This will print out what the error is and return. Then here I'm going to say console.log data to string. Right. So the data is pretty much what's inside the text field, the text file, right? And then I'm going to print it out. So print out contents from text file. Then here I'm going to say console.log. Hello, Charlene. Console.log program ended. Right. So I'm going to make a new tab here, guys, and simply just say node async io underscore example.js. It read my file. And guys, guess what? It did it asynchronously. It actually read it at the same time, printed it out at the same time the program was being ran. It didn't wait for it to read first and then print it out. This is what we are talking about in asynchronous IO. So the read file will kick off an asynchronous lightweight thread that reads the file input.txt. It also provided a callback function, i.e. a function that will be executed when the IO is complete. Right? Notice in the output how execution keeps going in the file and program ended output. Only when the file is read will the callback function be triggered to execute contents of input.txt. So Node.js applications are heavily structured around callback functions associated with the completion of IO events. We also create our own events and add multiple listeners to each of them. When to use it? IO-bound applications. So applications where IO wait times are the main bottleneck to performance, as opposed to processing. Like a chat, I think a chat would be a good example of using Node.js. A JSON API is easy to make the given programming model. Single page application, lots of AJAX communications back and forth to grab new pieces of information. Yep, so like using an SPA with like React or like Angular. Right? But not to use it. So you wouldn't use Node.js for CPU intensive applications, heavy floating point number crunching for an application like machine learning. The Chrome JavaScript runtime is very fast, but it's still JavaScript. You probably would want to use something compiled to native code. All right, so this is a good example, guys, of using input output Node.js. It works at the same time the program is running. Also, you can make input text. Even change it there, put something else. Like put your name and then run it again. Let's take a screenshot of it. All right. Okay, so let me see. Do we have anything else to do here? So lesson plan is today. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to talk about here is Express. Now, what is Express? Now, Express, guys, is a beautiful, beautiful framework. Um, so, so here we made, guys, before we made a hello world, right? Using Node.js, right? Using the HTTP framework. Now, what if I told you guys that there's an easier way of doing that? Okay, so using Express, guys, is actually guys is made just for that, just for making servers. So native handling of creation of servers and routing quickly became difficult in Node.js, very low level. We would have to parse requests ourselves, would result in lots of boilerplate code. We'd ideally like to be able to handle routing of requests as easily as we can in Laravel, React.js, other technologies. So pretty much, guys, they made a framework for this stuff called Express. That's what they're saying pretty much. So Express is a web application framework for Node.js intended for making web application creation easier. So it makes defining routing much easier. Okay, so Express.js is here, right? I think guys would have used it for a time before. I think so. But anyways, I should know that, but I do think it was Express. Anyways, so fast, unopinionated, minimalist web framework in Node.js. Yeah, this is actually the website. You should bookmark this as well. Right? This is a Hello World Express. You guys just copy this. I'll give you guys a website here. Okay. So if I copy this and let's say just say like for example server.js, I paste it. When I save it, I have to now say npm install express. And install express into here, my no module. All right, npm start. Now we're gonna go as a localhost 3000. Right, it says hello world. So this guys, look how small that is compared to this, right? So this is a framework, guys, allows us to do the exact same thing. You guys can just check this out. It's called Express. So you got to say npm install express. Make sure you write that as well. Sorry, npm. I can't see what I'm writing. My bad. npm install. Okay. Then we got to include express at the top. So you can see here there's a cost express require express. So that's how you know you included it. Then you're going to create the express application and then use it. So when we say app.get, we're saying when we get to this page here, send this message. You guys, when you guys change the message, just put here your name. Save it. Now notice how here we put response.end. Here I put response.send. So response.end only gets called once everything is finished loading, right? But this is a little bit more intricate than that. This is saying when I go to this path, send this message. And this is saying, listen, when the port is being ran, print this out. So here it says example app listen on port 3000. Okay. So express, hello world. So app.get is defining a route, right? And providing a callback function to respond when the request of the route is received. Get signifies that this is a get request. So get request will get back a response, right? Package.json, we use package.json to create our npm like project pretty much. So it holds a file tracking all the information for the application we're making. Also all the packages we're using as well. So if you guys look at package.json, you should see all the packages we're using, like Express and HTTP. Also what version you are as well. Okay, so eventually node modules will become very large. You wouldn't want to pass it around inside a zip file. So guys, what we can actually do is use the package.json file. We delete this node modules. Let's say it got really, really big. I deleted it. I could now simply do npm install, and everything I have in here will be included in node modules again because of this. Because Express and HTTP basically need all these in them to work. Okay. Also, guys, we can run the server and have it reload by itself. If we put node -- watch server.js. Now, whenever I change something, it will restart. Now restart. When we go back to 3000, it should say hello Mark, welcome. So you guys can also put that as well. Yeah, so you can make the package file that we did before, npm init. So npm init to make the package file, right? Ask a series of questions. You can press enter for all of them, or you can describe them, right? All these questions will ask you, right? Now let's try to add some more stuff to this. Let's go back to our server.js. Right. So if I did app.get, put here my route function request a response. You are visiting my route. You are visiting my route. App.get my route. Now, guys, I also can so this guy's pretty much adds a path. So if I'm going to this route, it will send this message. Okay. I also can add a parameter as well. So if I did my route ID like this, and I said console.log get request with parameter. So this guys would send the ID that I put in the URL. So my route, if I put here, let's say 15. Oh, my route. Oh, sorry, I'm missing something. We should have this. So my route 15. Now let's say ID 15. So I'm pretty much passing a parameter here. And then the request will hold the parameter in this parameters object. The same name as what we put here. So I put like name, params dot name. Doesn't matter. Name doesn't matter. So I'll give you guys this code as well. I love Express, honestly. I love it. It's actually really, it makes server-side coding really easy to get into. Honestly, before Express, I was really lost with server-side coding. Um, Made me start liking it. I appreciate it. Okay, so app.post is doing post request. Now, guys, a post request is, you guys know what a post request is, right? So post request, guys, is when I send a body of data through my request. So for example, a post request would be like logging into a website. So logging into my canvas, I would have to pass a username and password to the server, and the server would then get it back. It's right up for trial, right? So not a get request. A get request, guys, does not do authentication. It's just getting back information. Doesn't add anything to the server, just gets back stuff. Okay. So get request. So we can either post something to a server and wait for response. It doesn't always have to wait for response, but it adds something to the server. Okay, so we're gonna say here app.post my route and post something to it. Now, how do we test a post request in this? We can't really do that unless we have like a form that we're submitting or something like that. We have to actually send information through. So you guys could download this thing called Postman. I need to try it out. It does still work, which is great. If you guys go to the route, which is localhost, it's at what 3000. So if I did localhost, my route, and I did the get first, we do get request first. See if it works. It works, right? Now, what is Postman, by the way? So, guys, Postman is a very good application that allows you to check a route, check a server side route, right? You can also send information through to it. So, like, instead of just having nothing there, I can pass something into this, right, and send it, right? So it still doesn't handle it though. Like even though I have posted something, well, through post, sorry. Oh, I just say something. It says post request. So it does handle it. So when I go to that post request, it says post request. It sends that. It also sends it to the console as well. So I want you guys to try downloading Postman. Okay. Download it. Don't use the website version. Download it, okay, on your computer and try to go to this route on Postman. So put it on Discord. All right. It's cool. You also can try doing the put request. So a put request, so a put request is like a post request, except it only updates. It updates our existing resource. It doesn't create a resource. Hello, Fortune. Just join the chat. So a pull request. Let me go back now to Postman and do put. Do pull request. It will say pull request. So it works. Prints it out here. I also can do a delete request. A delete request is pretty straightforward. It will delete something from the server. Delete, delete request. So once you guys use Postman, take a screenshot of each one. Put on Discord. You don't have to do all of them. Actually, why not? Just do all of them. So we have get, post, put. Obviously, your server has to be running first for it to work. And delete. All right, you guys can try that as well. Okay. All of them printed out here. You can also screenshot this too. All right. After that. So yeah, we can use Postman. It says it in here as well, right? So we can easily test GET requests from the browser. Yeah, so we can create a form, like I said before, to do a post request, but we don't have that yet. I will be making a form next class, not this class, next class. Okay, but I want you guys to try using Postman this class. Okay, you can also do the one that has a parameter in it as well. Yes. Yep, try that one as well. Should also get request with parameter. Screenshot this as well. Okay, so GET request can have URL parameters that send key value pairs to the server. So app.com/form, name one, value one, and name two, value two. In the above example, URL parameters are the key value pairs, name one, value two, and value two, right? So I'm pretty much adding a form here. Let's see how much else we have. All right, guys, we'll take a break now. I want you guys to try to do their Postman stuff and then take the screenshots, put them on Discord. Okay. We might call it a class after that and leave the rest of this for tomorrow. about like 14, let me see, 17 slides. It's for tomorrow. So I'm just gonna make note that I stopped here. All right, guys, so we'll come back. What time is it? It's 8:27. Okay, you guys, we'll take a we'll take a break for 20 minutes. And you guys can just try and get that to work. Try to just screenshot and post that stuff. Thank you. All right, guys. So once you finish the screenshots, you are free to go. We'll continue where we left off tomorrow. Thank you. I only see one person did it. Only Grant.